So I think we've talked about legal and good faith marriage. So I'm just gonna, because this is really important, and we're just gonna talk about it some more before we go into the other parts. So the validity determined by jurisdiction. The validity of a marriage is determined by the jurisdiction where the marriage is performed or celebrated. For instance, if you live in a common law marriage jurisdiction, then that marriage is valid. So like I talked about a legal marriage, if there's some common law marriages in the United States, I think there are only 13 states that recognize common law marriages. So if you are in that state that recognizes common law marriage, you can file VAWA even if you're not technically or legally married to the person, right? And same thing, like I talked about same-sex couples, thankfully 50 states recognize same-sex marriage, so that's not a problem. But if you were married outside the jurisdiction of the United States, you want to make sure that that marriage is recognized by that jurisdiction. We talked about exceptions to this, like in countries where they approve of marriages to children, USCIS will not recognize illegal marriages such as that. You're married to somebody who is under a certain age, they're not going to recognize it, regardless of whether the country where you got married approves it. And we've also talked about the bigamy exception. Basically, this is the law. The primary purpose for marriage cannot be to circumvent immigration laws. The determining analysis is whether the parties intended to establish a life together at the time of the marriage. That's what they use to determine whether it's a good faith marriage, because sometimes happily ever after doesn't last, right? So it doesn't matter if the marriage breaks down along the line, doesn't stop it from being a good faith marriage, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work out. But if at the time you got married to the person, your intention was to establish a life with this person, then that's a good faith marriage. And all you have to do is show proof of it.